Representing England at the 2023 IMMAF World Championships, going for gold is Shellshock Lisa Zimmo. How are you doing today, Lisa?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, you know me, hanging out, doing the job. So how's training coming along? And I know we're just a few days away, so how's the weight as well?
Everything's going really well. I'm very happy. Obviously, training's pretty much done. The camp is done, so it's just about staying mobile and working on IQ and tactics. And regarding the weight, yeah, it's all good.
Hey, this is fantastic to hear. And when you hear statements like that, like some people were saying that you are a lock to get gold, you're the favorite from England to get gold, does that add extra pressure or what does that sound like to you?
No, it's not extra pressure. It's just the truth. I'm definitely going to win gold. I know it. It's just it's the levels thing, and I'm pretty dominant in my fight. So it's I know that gold medal is mine, and I've said it since the beginning.
Well, and it feels like this is really this is almost revenge for what happened last year. You know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, of course I do. I'm
You were
glad you
there.
brought it up. Yeah, it is. In a way, it sounds like a revenge, and I've been asked that question before. It just feels like I didn't get a chance to finish what I went there to do, or what I set to do. Obviously, anything can happen again. You can't stop injuries, and you don't know when it's going to happen. But you plan for. I'm just going to plan to get that gold medal, and I'm going to hope for the best regarding
Absolutely.
injuries.
Yeah, it's just a freak thing. Like it's those things are out of your control. ACLs, MCLs, or shoulder stuff. These things on a professional athlete's body just goes. But what are some of the actions that you take? I know you have a great team around you, but what are some of the like aftercare that you take that you do to make sure your body's in tip-top shape?
So I do a lot of SNC, which I think SNC is underrated. People think you do it just so you can build muscle, but I think it really does protect your joints and it protects us as athletes when freak accidents do happen. And I do a lot of rehab, so stretching, sauna, ice therapy, and of course I've got my sport therapist that helped me with recovering my body. Vigay is someone that looks after me really well, whether it's treatment for as an osteopath or even their shower gel, keeping me away from staff. And yeah, I've got a physiotherapist also in the gym that's been helping me a lot. So yeah, all these kind of things are very, very important to keep us in our top shape.
Oh, absolutely. It takes an entire team. And one of the great trainers on your team is the legendary MMA fighter, Brad Pickett. And I know you've been a fan of MMA for like your entire life. So what's it like training with an icon like One Punch Brad Pickett?
First of all, his character is amazing. He's just got this personality that everybody gets along with him, and it would be really weird if someone said they don't like Brad Pickett. He's just a very humble guy, and you can feel the passion of him wanting to share his knowledge and helping people grow. So that's amazing to have as a coach, and obviously learning from him on a daily basis, and him sharing his experience with us and telling us how that everything we feel is very, very normal. So yeah, I'm very blessed to have him and blessed to have the rest of my coaches and my team.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely awesome. He was one of my favorites back in like the WEC, but I know that you've been a fan of MMA for a long, long time. Who were some of the major fighters that you really enjoyed watching when you were a little bit younger?
So I pretty much started. I was more of a wrestling fan, which is quite funny. I started with WWE wrestling training and that kind of stuff. It's just dramatic. It's great.
Well, yeah,
But
you toured. You actually toured around Europe doing professional wrestling, right?
yeah, I did. I went with Al Snow. He started an academy in the UK, and it was until I started getting some serious injuries, and I knew I couldn't do that with MMA. It was just too much, so I had to pick. And of course, MMA is my number one love.
It's kind of odd, and I don't think a lot of people know this, but professional wrestling, and I'm sure, like you were saying, it's far more injury prone than actual combat sports in MMA. Like it is a dangerous industry, right?
Yeah, definitely, because it's stunt moves, and it's not only about you performing the move. You've got to rely on somebody else to do it with you. And if your timing is not right or you're landing, yeah, you're at massive risk. But hey, it's just like fighting, right? You can get knocked out, anything can happen. So you've really got to love it to be okay with the consequences.
Yeah, no, I know it's yeah, pro wrestling is absolutely a wild thing, but you went from it was Japanese jiu-jitsu to pro wrestling and then back to MMA. So tell me about like the origin in the sport. What was the story here?
Just like pretty much most university students, I just wanted to do a sport. Self-defense was something I was always interested in because as a woman, I thought it would be something good to know how to defend myself. And while I was at the Freshers Fair, I saw Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't really have anything in mind what I wanted to learn, but I just thought, you know what, I might as well give it a go. I remember I was training for a month and then they said, you know, there's an interclub. I tried some competition and I got dominated by a Ukrainian wrestler.
Mhm.
And I just thought, wow, obviously I went in very confident and cocky, thinking, yeah, you know, I've got this, until I really realized how much work it takes for you to be good. But from then, I became really good at the sport actually, and I competed at national level. They put me in the black belt division a few times. I won that too. I was just very strong minded, same way I am now, and I never really cared who they put in front of me. So then I realized I've got to progress, and I wanted to try a little bit more. Obviously, the wrestling happened. I saw it on the newspaper. As a wrestling fan, I needed to give it a go. Did that for 2 years and then progressed into Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Muay Thai, wrestling, and then I landed in GP Top Team.
Oh, and amazing. And GB Top Team is just an absolutely incredible team to have around you at any given moment. The amount of talent that that small gym is producing, it's just surreal. Like I can't imagine being in the gym and seeing some of the people in there. What's it like being in that training room day in, day out?
It's really weird because I joined about 4 years ago, or you can say just under 4 years, and I had no MMA experience. So I remember when I joined, just looking at everybody and the level, because most of the time you can't tell the amateurs from the pros. That's how high level the amateurs are in GB Top Team, and
Mhm.
I was just fascinated by everybody, and till today I'm still fascinated and impressed by the level of the people in the gym and my training partners. But with time, obviously, now I've developed that bond and they became like my family.
Mhm. It's just absolutely unreal. So let me ask you here because I kind of skipped over it there. But what after you get gold here, what do you want the next step in your career to be? What do you envision being after?
So the plan is I'm hoping this could be my ending my amateur career. So I'm bringing me up to 9-2. Which I think is a great way. I've learned a lot of things. Obviously, it never feels enough. You always want to gain more experience, but I know that I am definitely ready to go pro. So this is a great opportunity for me to compete at one of the highest levels, and compete against people around the world. And I like the idea of the tournament style, you know, doing fights back to back, several days. It's the environment and the vibe, and the exposure, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the big shows are recruiting almost directly from IMMAF. Like Muhammad Makayev waltzed right in from IMMAF essentially into a top 10 role. Like there's tons of amazing fighters who are produced by
Yeah.
this program. It's incredible, right? Go on.
Yeah, I've seen so many. You've got like Michelle Montague, you've got Leah McCourt, Melissa Dixon just signed with the UFC.
Yeah.
So many have actually come from a background of IMAF. And I feel like it's one of those things, if you haven't done it, you won't actually understand how valuable IMAF is.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely awesome. And you've named just yeah, some amazing, amazing people. Melissa Dixon is so cool as well. I interviewed her once when she was cutting weight, and I was like, "Oh, you're in such a bad mood. I'm so sorry. Cutting weight's awful."
Yeah, it really is. It's like we've become very snappy.
Yeah. I try to
Yeah.
do it like a week in advance, but the week of fighters are, what cutting weight. But okay, but let me ask you here: what do you find to be the more hostile environment, cage fighting or HR office work?
HR, it's horrible. Yeah,
Is it?
definitely. Cage fighting, like I said, it's I know it's fighting, but it's a sport at the end of the day, and it's just different. Being working in HR just made me miserable. And I remember my tube journeys every single day, just questioning what the hell am I doing? And what's the purpose of it? And people always compare, like with fighting, you get injured and you're putting yourself at risk. Passion and a love for something will always make whatever, like I said, the consequences and the journey and the suffering worth it, because you've got a reward at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but and I think everyone in martial arts and MMA has the underlying respect for one another, that even getting in there, it's such a hard thing to do. Training day in and day out is a challenging thing to do.
Yeah.
Whereas working in an office environment, if you just get someone on the wrong day, or you just have someone who doesn't respect you, like, it's such BS. We're all in this office working together here. Why are you
Yeah.
treating me like this? Why are you talking to me that way, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It is an environment that I definitely never want to take part of. It was good experience, but I'm done for now.
It's done. It's in the past. It's all looking good in front of you. So let's round you out as a person here. So let me ask you, what are you listening to right now? What's on a playlist?
Oh, well, I got judged today for listening to The Weeknd. He's one of my favorite artists.
Who the fuck is judging you? Fuck that person.
One of my closest friends. If he hears this, he's not going to be happy. But yeah, basically, I was in the gym and I thought, you know what? That's what I'm going to listen to. So yeah, I got to see him live as well. So that was a very special moment for me.
Are you like a long weekender, or like more into the newer 80s synth stuff?
Probably the most recent stuff. So the last, what, 3-4 years, you can say.
Me too, me too, me too. I don't know why I wasn't into some of his earlier work, but the more recent stuff, I can't stop listening to. I can't put that down. It's so cool.
Till today, it still shocks me when I see his face and I hear his voice. He's not the same person.
Yeah, I know. What about, okay, growing up, were there any video games that you played at all?
I did actually. I like Mario,
Nice. Nice.
and pretty much any fighting game. But I don't actually have the patience to play video games now.
You just want the violence right now. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, I'm rubbish at it. I was in Thailand for 5 months. I just got back in May, and in Thailand, it's very popular that they've got like PlayStations and random cafes, and you always sit there with a group of people and you play. So that was the last time I actually got to play, and it was actually quite addictive. But you needed to pair up with someone that was just as bad as you. You had a chance to win.
This sounds like so much fun. I gotta go to Thailand. I gotta do some Muay Thai training, playing video games in cafes. I'm so sold. This sounds awesome.
Yeah, Thailand is something else. It's like I call it, it's the only place on earth that's considered heaven.
Oh, that's absolutely awesome. All right, now last word goes to you here. You can be fighting very soon, but shout out who you need to shout out, thank who you need to thank, all that good stuff.
So I definitely want to first thank my team for the endless rounds every single week. And this is not just about my training camp, it's about all the work I put in for the last couple of years and the endless support that they always give me. Of course, my coaches, one of my main coaches, Wesley Maya, he's amazing. Seriously, I couldn't be any more grateful to have him help me with my career. He's the one that actually completely changed me as a fighter. My sponsors, mainly Vigorate. He, like I said, he looks after my body, my skin, everything treatment-wise. I wouldn't be here today. I probably would have a massive accumulation of injuries and ongoing chronic pain. And my partner, of course, for supporting me day in, day out, and putting up with me when I'm cutting weight, when I've got a migraine attack, when I'm hurting, when I'm injured, when I'm everything. So yeah, I definitely, thanks to all of them.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. Best of luck, guy.
Thank you so much.